Hello, everyone. We are live. I am Stephanie Classy. I am your goPure esthetician, and welcome to this incredible new live format we are trying out. Congratulations on being super special and getting an invitation to be here and join us on this as we try this out and want to offer you the most amazing ways to get education. And what's really cool about this is you all can shop as well while you learn, which I absolutely love. So again, I'm Stephanie Classy, your goPure esthetician, and today we are going to be talking all about one of my favorite topics, which is skincare layering. So we're going to be talking all about all the tips and tricks and what you need to know to get the most out of your skincare by using it in the correct order, which actually does make a difference. So we're going to be going all through that. So when you hop on, say hi. If I look off to the side, I have this live up to my side where I'm going to be looking at comments and everything. I'm kind of manning a mini control room here myself. And then we have an amazing team of support in the chat for you also. So when you ask a question, leave a question mark, and we are going to be helping you out. And we're going to be doing some awesome giveaways too. So today, when you participate in the chat, when you ask your questions, when you share, you have your chance to win. We're going to be giving away serum of your choice. And I mean, our serums are pretty incredible too. So who wants to win and pick out the serum of your choice? So again, welcome. And let me know what questions you have about layering skincare, because I know I get a lot of questions about layering. I see a lot of people ask these questions in the VIP group. Let me know in the comments if you are in our VIP group as well. You probably are if you got this invitation. And let me know where you're joining us from also. Okay, so let's get into this. And first of all, I wanted to introduce myself for those of you that do not know me. I am Stephanie. I am your esthetician, and I help every single one of you on your journey here with goPure. I am here to help you get the most out of your products and have the best experience so you can get the best results, because that's what we all want, right? We all want to have an awesome routine that we love so we can get incredible results. And that's what I am here to do, is to help you with all of that. Now, who knows all about goPure here? And I want in the comments for you to, hi, I do see some of you in the comments. Let me know if you can hear me also. But goPure is a family-owned skincare company founded on the principles that you shouldn't have to choose between clean products and incredible skincare that is effective and proven by science to deliver results. And it's also really important to us that you get it at the absolute best price possible. So that's what we do here at goPure, is just create the cleanest beauty so you can get the best results backed by science at an always affordable price. I think that sounds amazing. And I see some of you in the chat joining. So yay, I love that. Drop a comment, especially because we are trying out this new format. Drop a comment when you hop on, because that way we know how this all works. And I want you all to put us, me and everyone who is in the chat answering your questions, put us to the test. Ask lots of questions, really participate, because again, the more you participate, the more you have a chance to win. And we are giving away your choice of our awesome serums. So make sure that you participate lots. Yvonne is on. I saw Alex is on. Ooh, it's lunchtime. That sounds great. Yvonne, I'm so happy you caught a live too. Welcome. And I'm so glad you're joining us from Ohio. And here's what's really cool about this format is that you all can shop. You can actually just click on the products. You can learn more. You can add them to your cart. This is a really cool feature. So yes, put us to the test here today. I see Lindsay's joining us in the chat. Yes, yay. I'm so excited. So let's get going with a little bit of this. let's get going and learn all about skincare layering. So did you know that, yes, we know that a consistent routine is how we get results, right? You gotta use your skincare to get those results, right? But did you know that your consistent routine is just the start? It takes using the right products in the right order to really maximize those benefits. So drop in the comments if you want the maximum benefits from your skincare, because that's what this is all about. You know, if you're going to use your products and you're just, one of my things as an esthetician is I'm just like, just put it on your face. Just use your products. That's what I want you to do. But I want you to use them and get the most results. So what I'm going to teach you today is really going to help you understand those things you need to be considering when you're choosing what order to apply your products. And yes, there is a good, better, best always, but when we do it the best way, we are going to be able to get the best results. And why? Okay, why? Let me know if you think of anything that could be a consideration as to why we need to maybe put our products on in a specific order. So I would love for you to leave in the chat some things we might be considering. Why do we need to apply our products in a specific order? Why does it matter? Okay, and I'm going to give you all a second because I want you to really think about, why does it matter? Why does it matter what order we put on our serums? Why does it matter what comes before or after moisturizer? Why does it even matter? And if you, yes, Connie, so they work the best. Yes, I agree. I agree with that comment. We're working diligently to deliver your SPF dreams for sure. Yes, and I love leaving, when I look off to the side, it's me looking at the comments because I have another device with that. So some of the ways we get those results through layering is we want our products to properly absorb and penetrate in the skin. That's really big. We really want our products to be able to penetrate the deepest and absorb their best so they can get to, the deepest layers possible to deliver results. So that's one reason why it matters. And then we also want our products to get along well. We want our products to play nicely on our skin, and we want them to not neutralize each other. So a lot of skincare has what is called antioxidants, and antioxidants are very reactive. And in our skincare, we want them to react to the right things. We want them to react to free radicals and neutralize those free radicals. If they react with each other and your skincare products are reacting with each other, they can't do their job to neutralize those free radicals. So that's something we want to take into consideration. We also don't want there to be reactions on the skin or any additional possible irritation. So that is something to consider why we have specific order that we layer products and how we choose to layer products. And that is really how our ingredients can get to work to deliver those maximum results. So I saw a little poll pop up. I think that's one of the things that's really fun about this format is we can have some polls in there. Yes, and we want to seal in the moisture, Debbie. That is great. Hi, Amy. Thank you for joining us. Oh, this is great. If you're having trouble commenting, you might just need to enter in your name. But that's good for us to know. That's good for us to know. Keep us posted on how you're doing, how you hear us, how it looks to you. If you're on this live, you are in a very special group of people that are letting us know how you like this and how this is working for you. So just let us know how it's going and let me know what you are learning. Oh my gosh, Amy, I love that. I love that you've been using goPure and your skin feels less irritated. That's really important. And that's actually something to take into consideration with layering is that if you layer properly, it can significantly minimize possible irritation because when we're using active clinical products, we want to use them the right way. So if you've ever had questions about the best way to layer, this is the live for you. So now I'm going to ask a question. I love asking questions and doing my own little pop quizzes. So have you heard the saying, apply skincare thinnest to thickest? Who has heard that saying where we apply skincare thinnest to thickest? Who's heard that? Because Oh, Shannon's asking a question. So I'm going to read Shannon's question while I have you all, because there's a little bit of a delay too. So there is a little bit of a delay from when I'm actually talking to when you all can see me. So so you've heard it multiple times. Okay, but what does that mean? What does that mean, thinnest to thickest? I mean, think about it. That's a good start, but skincare really has kind of evolved past this basic recommendation. And why? Because when we think about thinnest to thickest, our oil seems thinner than our moisturizer, but we should be applying oils after moisturizer. And some of our serums, when we pump them out, seem a little thicker than the ones we know that come after that. When that saying came to be, skincare was a bit more simple, and now the world of skincare is incredible and nuanced and diverse, and there's just a lot of different things we can take into consideration. But don't worry, it does not need to be complicated or challenging. Now, if you're freezing or you can't see me, that might be a possible internet connection. I'm watching mine, so mine seems good, but keep me posted on that as well. And let me know if you've seen a live before. Let me know if you've seen us live and what you think. Okay, so here are the things now. Given how skincare has evolved, these are the things that we really take into consideration with the order of our routine. And I promise it's not complicated, and I'm going to really get into more detail, but I'm just going to kind of go over the basics right now and what we need to consider. So, water content versus oil content in a product. So we want to apply the more water-based products first and then move to the more oil-based products. And if you've seen my lives, you've probably heard me talk about that a little bit. Now, next is the pH of the product. Who's heard about skin pH? Oh, Sandra, and I love that you guys are on the live. Shannon, I'm so glad this is your second live. I hope there are many more awesome lives in your future. Okay. Oh, yay. I'm seeing some names, and I think I know who you are. I get to know your names on the lives on Facebook, and I just love seeing your names pop up. So I see some names here, and I think I know who it is. So I'm so happy. So pH, our skin has an ideal pH, and a pH that we want to keep it at. You know, is it more acidic or basic? That's really what it goes into. It's kind of like back to middle school science when we talk about the pH of the skin. But did you know that certain products need an ideal pH to work? And when you're using more active ingredients, it's important to apply typically a lower pH to higher pH. Active ingredients go on the skin generally before some other products, so we want them to penetrate more deeply. And one other thing to take into consideration is what other products you're applying, because that's really important. Is what does your entire routine look like? We can look at just our serums and talk about what order we might apply serums in, day or night, but we do want to look at the skincare routine as a whole when we're making those choices. So basically, we go cleansers, exfoliants, to our active serums and moisturizers. So clean, exfoliated, and balanced skin is gonna be the best to receive products. It's gonna be the best so skincare can absorb and skincare can penetrate. And so those are the steps that are gonna go before those serums, because we really want cleansed, exfoliated, toned, and balanced skin. So it's really prepared ideally so products can penetrate and absorb. Then I did mention those water-loving ones to more oil-loving ones, so the oil content doesn't block that water from getting into the skin. And I don't know and this is a fun demo that I like to do. This is why. So this is just water, and I'm going to show you all this. So I'm going to spritz a little water on my hand here. Now I'm going to get it on, and we're going to rub it in, and then I'm going to put a little oil on top. I'm gonna put a little oil. I know you can't see it, but I'm gonna pump a little bit of this argan oil right on top. I'm gonna rub it on top, and see how that just goes on nice and smooth, and it locks in that moisture. Debbie, yes, toner can really help. There's a lot of different toners out there, but toner ideally And what classic toners were was they actually balanced the skin, and they made sure the skin was at the ideal pH to start the rest of your skincare routine. Because traditional cleansers and older cleansers used to be really stripping and would throw the skin's pH off. So toners can be very balancing on the skin, and that's what I love about the goPure toner. All right, so now I have this oil on my hand, and see how those just layered really nicely. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little more oil on so I can show you if we went in the reverse order and if we did really oil loving products first and then we tried to do water loving. Do you see how that beads up and is rolling off? See how that water can't penetrate? When you put those more oil loving and oil rich products, or just oil on the skin, if they go on before products with water, it just has the potential to block that water from absorbing, and that's really important to take into consideration. All right. I have so many products around me right now. It's so much fun. Oh, did we have a winner? Luna, did you win? I can't tell. Hold on. I'm going to try and scroll back through. It's hard for me to see on here sometimes, so I'm sorry if I miss winners. Then when we think about thinnest to thickest, and back to that old phrasing of thinnest to thickest with skincare, think of it more in each particular category. So if we're applying multiple oils or multiple serums, you might want to consider the thinnest to thickest, but I think that phrasing is just kind of outdated and isn't really what we rely on. So who has questions right now? We're going to pause. We're going to pause for questions. See who has questions. Drop questions in. And when you leave a question in the chat, if you put a question mark, we can actually see them better. And our customer service and our amazing team who is helping answer questions in the chat, they can actually see that when you leave a question mark. So try that out. We would love for you to try it out because we're trying stuff out on our end as well. So we're going to pause for a few questions if you have any. And I thought I saw another one up here I want to try and find really quick. I'm trying to see, where does eye moisturizer come in the process? Oh, we are going to cover that. Should you use oils every day? That depends on your skin and your skin type. I use oils every day and I have combination sensitive skin, but remember there's a lot of different types of oils out there and our skin loves oil. Our moisture barrier and that amazing barrier that protects our skin are lipids. That's those ceramides and those fatty acids, and our skin loves oil and they can be very balancing. And sometimes when people think they have oilier skin, sometimes it's a reaction our skin is having to not actually getting enough nourishment in our skincare products. And when we integrate in even a small amount of an appropriate oil, it can be very, very balancing on our skin. It's amazing. Oh, I love this. Do oils clog pores? Emma, that is a great question. Some oils can, but good facial oils like rosehip and argan are actually not pore clogging. They're incredible facial oils. Oils like straight up coconut oil can have the potential to be more pore clogging because it's a bigger molecule size and the way it's structured can actually be a bit heavy for the face. That is a great question. Oh, and we will have a bigger prize at the end of the live. So stay tuned for the end. I want everyone to stay tuned, ask your questions, participate. So you have your chance to win a grand prize. Brenda just started her routine a few weeks ago. Congratulations. I love that. Is it important for skin to be wet or not before the toner or serum use? That is a really great question. So damp skin is more permeable. So as far as the toner goes, it doesn't need to be damp, but when we wash our face, and this is a really great intro, that is a really great question because I'm going to start going through the different phases of skincare and I'm going to talk about cleansing, exfoliating and refining and balancing right now. So that's a great segue question. And I'm going to kind of talk about the difference between when our skin needs to be damp and dry, but damp skin is more permeable. Our products can absorb really well on damp skin, but when we're cleansing our skin, we are actually getting it damp even when it's patted dry. For skin to be really dry, you actually need to kind of hang out for 5 to 10 minutes for it to really dry down. So just know when you're cleansing your skin, and especially if it's properly exfoliated, just the cleansing process is going to dampen the skin even when it's patted dry. Now, if you live in a drier area, I live in Denver, it's so dry here, it will dry faster and the skin will dry out and dehydrate faster. That's more the proper word is dehydrate, losing that water content, than if you live in an area that has more humidity and moisture environmentally in the air. So the concept of a dry oil is kind of interesting, but some of the oils do have slight astringent properties and they're very balancing and non-pore clogging, and it's amazing. Yes, I love using the oils as a makeup remover. Okay, Debbie knows where this is going. Debbie knows, she's been on these lives. So let's get into phase 1, which is cleansing, refining, and balancing. And the first step is doing a pre-cleanse with argan oil. I love removing my makeup with argan oil. And even before cleansing, we can use our oils to remove makeup or a makeup remover. And the reason why this is important in the order is, who here has been guilty of washing their face with a full face of makeup on, or just some makeup on, or just mascara on, or whatever you wear, washing your face and then going in and just trying to remove any makeup that was left behind, and then doing it in that order? Who has done that? And remember, you're not gonna be in trouble. We're all learning here. But I think that that's the way a lot of people do their skincare in the order. They just use their cleanser and then they try and remove any makeup and any additional residue that's left after your cleanser. Now, the reason why it's important to actually do a pre-cleanse, and that's what it's called, that first cleanse, especially at the end of the day, even if you don't wear makeup, it can remove excess oil, dirt, pollution, environmental allergens and stressors that get on the skin. But when we use, I know, I see some of you, and it's what trust me, we've all been there. But when we take the time to do an appropriate pre-cleanse and use something like the argan oil, which I'm so obsessed with this, by the way, just massage it in onto the skin, just straight on. Don't get your skin wet first. We want to just massage this onto the face, work it into our lashes. You can use a cotton round to gently wipe it away. And then you can splash with water and then go into your cleanse with your vitamin C cleanser. And then here's what's going to happen when we do this. When we remove makeup first and then do our cleanse, your cleanser can actually work on a deeper level. When you have a cleanser that is balanced, that's not stripping, that doesn't have SLS, it's going to work to really cleanse appropriately and not strip that barrier. And sometimes cleansers that are doing all the things can be really stripping on the skin. And we want our cleanser to work deeply, but still be soothing and still be good to that barrier. That's what's really, really important. We want our barrier protected. So that's why we go in. Yes, Lindsay, it is. It is. And Brenda, yes, you can use the niacinamide twice a day. I do. I use it twice a day. That's a great, great question. And it does. If you have chronically dry and dehydrated skin, starting with an oil before your cleanser can actually really help reinforce your skin barrier, and it keeps it from being dehydrated. And if you have oilier skin, it's also great because oil likes oil, and oil can be very, very clarifying for oily skin without being harsh. So it's really ideal for every skin type, from the driest to the oiliest and everything in between. Now, cleansing's pretty straightforward. We cleanse with warm water, not hot water, for 60 seconds, and then we can pat our skin dry. But where does the scrub fit in? So who here has used the microdermabrasion resurfacing exfoliator? Who has used this? Who has used this? Yes, don't worry, Shannon. It's about the right oil. It can absolutely have the opposite effect, especially when you use it at night and just press in just a little bit. So who has used this amazing microdermabrasion resurfacing exfoliator? Who's tried this? Now, this is the way I want you to think about layering. When you're sitting here going, okay, but when do I use my scrub? And when do I use my mask? And when do I use a toner? I understand it can get really confusing, right? So we always want to make sure that we exfoliate clean skin. We don't want to just be throwing on a mask or starting with a scrub because we want to remove all that excess dirt, oil, pollution, environmental stressors, makeup before we go in with anything that's going to exfoliate. We want the awesome ingredients like the glycolic acid and the lactic acid, the salicylic acid, and all of those botanicals to work, but we also don't want to be using something with a grit and a grain on uncleansed skin. So we always want to make sure that we exfoliate on cleansed skin. So that's what comes after your cleansing is exfoliation, just 2 to 3 times a week at most. You don't need to exfoliate a lot. And any products that if you are going to be using water to remove them, I know a lot of you use this enzyme mask in a lot of different ways, and I love seeing how you all use it. You taught me so much about this product and how you love to use it. It makes me so happy. But with the enzyme mask, it kind of depends. What order, what are you doing afterwards? And anytime you're using water to splash in a sink and, get all splish splashy and then use your towel to pat dry, all of that comes before toner. That's kind of my rule if you're using a toner, because not everyone does, but that's how it works with toner. So the pre-cleanse and the cleanse happen here. And then the toner is the last step before you move on to the skincare that stays on the face. That's kind of the rule. You tone your skin and you use your toner right before you're going to move on to the products that stay on the face, like your serums, your moisturizer, your oils, and all of those amazing things. Yes, Natasha, the enzyme mask is delicious. It is yummy. And I know a lot of you use it as a moisturizer or a sleeping mask. And some of you just like to tone first and then, to balance the skin and get that hydrating boost, because that's what this toner does, is the toner is going to balance. It's going to give a boost of hydration with the aloe and the rosehip and that yummy botanical blend in there. And you can apply it with a cotton round or your hands, no wrong way. But with the enzyme mask, do you want to rinse it off more and then balance the skin afterwards? Or do you want to just kind of massage it into the skin or towel the excess off? It's totally up to you. All right, who had questions about this? Okay, Terry, sun damage on the chest. That is a really, really great question. Make sure you're using your serums. And I'll say this later when I talk about moisturizers and our amazing Tighten and Lift neck cream, but something like the neck cream is going to be essential for you. And we want to make sure that we are using the serums that we use on our face, on our neck, and on our décolleté, and then sealing it in with a moisturizer. So that is a great segue. Okay, you all know where I'm going to be in this. So we're going to talk about serums and what order we use them in and where in the world does niacinamide fit in? Okay, I want you all up in the comments. Let's blow up the comments with your questions about serums, and who here has wondered where in the world does this incredible 10% niacinamide booster fit into your routine? Because you will not have, I hope you won't have any questions when I'm done explaining it. If I do my job, if I do a good job, you will not have questions about where it fits into the routine. Yes, magical unicorn tears. That's what they're called. Yes, okay, I love this. I love seeing so many of you ask questions. So we're going to talk about the ABCs of targeting, treating, and boosting the skin. So the serum step is really about, we're going to target concerns. We are going to treat our skin and we are going to boost it so we get the absolute best results. So that's what phase 2 is targeting, treating, and boosting. And in honor of our niacinamide booster being magical unicorn tears, I got a magical unicorn water cup that I saw at the store, and I thought they could be besties. I mean, how cute, how matchy are they? I couldn't pass this up. This matches the magical unicorn tear vibe of the niacinamide booster perfectly. I had to get it. Yes, Trish used it right before her retinol. So in the comments, let me know. And there was a poll that popped up. How many serums do you use? Some people don't use any. Some people use 1 to 2. Some people use 3 or more. So when we're talking about serums, I'm talking about our awesome serums that can come in your trio that has everything. This is your actives trio that has everything you need for day and night. You don't use all these at one time. This is day, this is night. I'm talking about our incredible 10% niacinamide booster here. And then I'm also talking about products like that are going to be really targeted treatments like the spot corrector pen. So 2 to 3, yeah. Some nights I use 1, some nights I use like a million. It depends. I am a moody esthetician. It depends on what my skin needs, how tired I am, how much time I have, all of that. And that really does drive our decisions. Yes, Brendan, I'm going to talk about that too. If our serums need to absorb before moisturizer. That is a great question. We always want to give our products adequate time to absorb. Remember, at this phase, we're in phase 2. We have cleansed our skin. We have possibly exfoliated. We have toned and we're balanced. Our skin is ready to absorb everything. That being said, we got to give it time to absorb. So we want to make sure we give 30 to 60 seconds, sometimes even a couple minutes, to really make sure our skincare has time to soak in before we move on to that next layer, because we want our products to play nicely together. Yes, and hyaluronic acid is one of those things. I'm actually going to talk about this. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit when I talk about hyaluronic acid. Remember, I told you I'm a troublemaker. I'm here to rock the boat, so I'm gonna mix it up a little bit, talking about hyaluronic acid today and the Hydrate and Smooth Serum. So we're gonna talk about the ABCs of serums, and let's get started. Who wants to learn about the ABCs today? Priscilla's asking if you use the niacinamide with a high. You can. Yes, you can use them together. Now the niacinamide plays with everything. You can just, I would take a bath in this if I could and splash around like a baby hippo in the niacinamide booster if I could. The magical unicorn tears, 100%. I would do that. Thank you, Pat. We love that you love the products. Yes, and next, the niacinamide booster and that mask. Absolutely, absolutely. So let's learn about the ABCs. Let's get to it. So A is for the most active ingredient. So day versus night. Remember, you can do the same thing in your day routine and your night routine. Generally, our day products work fine at night, but it doesn't go the other way around. A lot of times, certain products that we use at night, like glycolic acid and retinol, need to stay in our nighttime routine. So our daytime routine can kind of be our anytime routine. And you can do it at night also, but A is the most active ingredient. So for our day routine, the most active ingredient is going to be a vitamin C serum. So the Brighten and Even serum, this has your vitamin C, it has your ferulic acid. It actually has 2 different forms of vitamin C. It's very stable, and we want, I know, Emma, it is, I do, you splash on like a baby hippo. So yes, our vitamin C is what we're gonna wanna put for daytime on the skin first, after we have gone through that first phase of cleansing and balancing our skin. Your vitamin C is your daytime superstar. It's going to be the most active. It's going to be the thing that's doing the most work. Is your most active ingredient is what am I putting on my skin that's going to be doing the most work? Now I'm going to rock your boat. I'm going to rock your world a little bit with this. Okay. Who here has tried this amazing brightening sheet mask? You can also do something like using a sheet mask for that incredible boost to be your most active ingredient. About once a week, I will use this brightening sheet mask after toning. So it's my first step that I'm doing, the most active product that has my vitamin C and my snow mushroom, and it's going to be super brightening. It's what I want. I'm putting the thing on my face first that I want to do the most work, that is the most active. That is the A. Now, caveat here. If you have very sensitive skin, you can always mix it up and do something that creates a little bit of a buffer. Who here has heard me talk about the retinol sandwich? Now, the retinol sandwich is that thing where we actually sandwich the most active ingredient in between moisturizers to buffer it. But that's something that's a little more nuanced and a little different for sensitive skin. And I think I'll probably do a live specifically on sensitive skin. Who wants that? But for now, we're just talking generally. There's always going to be exceptions, but in layering, after cleansing and balancing, the most active ingredient is going to be the thing that does the most work. Debbie, yes, it is very moisturizing too. It's packed with humectant. Snow mushroom actually holds 500 times its weight in water. And I was very excited that was in there. So that has vitamin C and licorice in that snow mushroom. So it's going to be very hydrating and brightening. And that's the thing with sheet masks. Sheet masks are kind of like a super serum mask that we let set on our skin so we get a boost of not only an active ingredient, but also an incredible boost of hydration. And I love them because they can either take the place of your serums or you can use them before your serums and then continue with your routine. That's a really great question. I love that. Yes. Oh, Brenda just heard about the retinol sandwich this morning. I love that. Now let's talk about nighttime routine. So our superstar in our evening routine is going to be retinol, like you can find in this Firm and Lift serum. This has the retinol and bakuchiol. This is generally when we're talking, and you can sandwich it if you want and buffer that, but the most active and the most potent way to use it is putting the most active ingredient directly on the skin. Now, we had a question about dry versus damp skin. Retinol goes on dry skin. And I talk about retinol a lot because ingredients that work and are very active, like retinol, can possibly cause some irritation. So we have to follow the rules. And we want to make sure we give our skin about 5 minutes after we have done that cleansing session and toned to really let our skin fully dry down before we apply our retinol, because remember, damp skin is more permeable, and that's what actually can cause irritation with retinol, is if you apply it on damp skin and right on the skin, it can absorb too quickly and too deeply, and that's what can cause some of that redness. So active ingredient is our A. Now, B, let's move on to the B's. That's B stands for boosters and barrier support. Now, here's where I come to be a troublemaker in this live a little bit. Yvonne loves her active serums, and I love that. Debbie, I don't know if I can actually answer that exactly, but let's, because I can't always compare, because a lot of times when you're comparing skincare products, it's not always apples to apples. It's not just the one active ingredient, it's the entire formulation. And there's so much that goes into that as far as how potent a product is, how effective it is, and what type of clinical studies they have. And what I will say is that we have clinical studies that back up the results in our products, and it's amazing. And I love that about it. Okay, so now here's where I come to cause trouble. When I am putting our hyaluronic acid products in that B category, in that booster category, because this Hydrate and Smooth Serum is packed with those 3 types of hyaluronic acid that are going to deeply hydrate the skin. Now, why does hyaluronic acid qualify as a booster, and why does it come after our most active ingredients? Well, I'm going back to what I said, where damp skin products absorb more deeply. If you put hyaluronic acid on under your vitamin C or under your retinol, it actually makes your skin even more permeable, and some of those active ingredients can absorb too quickly and potentially cause irritation. So that's why I love topping my, and they can sometimes, even depending on what's in them, react with those antioxidants, and we want our antioxidants to fight free radicals. So this is what I consider a booster. It can be used day and night on top of our more active serums, and it just helps keep the skin hydrated and combats the appearance of those lines and wrinkles, and it is amazing. Now, we're going to talk about the unicorn tears now. So this is a booster and barrier support. So remember, boosters help our most active serums work even better and do an even better job. Now, niacinamide is amazing because it plays well with everyone and it is barrier supportive. I like adding my barrier supportive products on top of my actives because I want my actives to penetrate. And then I want to top it with my barrier supportive products to really get my barrier going and to help start the process of locking in the actives and the hydration underneath it. And that's why I love this niacinamide booster, because it not only helps strengthen and support our barrier, but it helps minimize possible irritation from active ingredients, and it actually targets the appearance of redness in the skin, lines and wrinkles, and dark spots. This is a very multifaceted formulation that I'm obsessed with, and so many people are obsessed with too, and that's why it's gone viral, because it's really incredible and it's hands down the best niacinamide product I've literally ever used, and I love it so much. And it can go in any order with your serums. That's what I'll say about generally your boosters and your barrier supportive products. They can go in any order, but I do like them after my most active products, and I do like them on top of things like hyaluronic acid. I want this on top of those other ingredients that I want to make sure get into the skin, and then I start supporting my barrier. Does anyone have questions? Yes, I use it all the time. I use this all of the time. And you know what? I will even apply boosters like these if halfway through the day I feel like, because it is so dry where I live in Denver, if I feel like I need a little boost of hydration, I'll even spritz a little water on my face and press one or both of these just on top, even when I'm wearing makeup, to give an additional boost to my skin, some additional hydration. And that's why I really do consider the Hydrate and Smooth Serum a booster as well. It's got that boost of those 3 types of hyaluronic acid, that vitamin E, that kick of vitamin C, and then we know all of the goodness in this incredible niacinamide booster. Yes, thank you so much, Jamie. It is, Trish, it's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. And that's what I love. I love difference making products. So now we are on to C. C is our correctors, like spot correctors, and any what I call skin conditioners. So skin conditioners are maybe serums that have more oil content, that are more deeply conditioning, or have more ingredients that are very oil loving, because remember, we're going water-based to more oil-based. So I consider skin conditioning serums a very thin texture, something that is truly a serum that maybe has more oil content in them, or spot correctors. And here's why I do spot correctors. Instead of being first, I know this is a targeted treatment, but you want your spot correctors in a specific spot. So I do them after my other serums, just because I want to make sure I'm getting the product exactly where I want it, letting it absorb, and then locking it in with my moisturizer. So that's why when I have a spot pen, I do all my serums, I press them into my skin, I let them absorb, and then for the C, I go in with a corrector that has a very specific area, so it's a smaller amount of product that goes in a very localized area, because I want to make sure that it gets where I want it to be and let it absorb. Who has questions about that? Because I know that, again, there's a good, better, best. There's not really a wrong way to do it, but that's just the way I like to teach it. It's what's intuitive, I think, and just I want you all to have a routine that makes sense to you and that works, and we want our products to work. I want this to be where I put it. I want it to stay where I put it. And that's kind of my ABCs of treating the skin. And did anyone learn anything in that? Was that helpful to anybody? And I hope it made it just a little less intimidating when we are trying to choose what order we use our serums in as well. Now, for nighttime, when we are using retinol, you can top it with your niacinamide and move on to the rest of your routine. These are best friends. So I will say, before we move on to eye care, if you are using retinol especially, or if you have large pores and battle excess shine, make sure that you are using this niacinamide booster. These are best friends. They are absolute best friends. And so for a night routine in particular, this can be used day and night. It is an amazing complement to your day routine, but especially when you're using retinol, I just feel like it's a non-negotiable. It's an absolute must-have. That is a great question. I love that. You guys know what questions to ask right before I say it. So luckily, I wrote a blog that is we're going to be putting out that has all of this information in there. So never fear. I actually just rewrote our whole blog and wrote it on layering that has all this great information, including the ABCs of layering. Oh, did we have another winner? I keep missing the dang winners. I want to see who wins. Oh, congratulations, Brenda. You just won a serum of your choice. Yay, congratulations. We're still going to be choosing winners, so keep asking your questions in the comments there in that feed, because I want to see lots of winners. I want you all to win. But now we're going to move to phase 3 of layering, which is eye care. Eye care, the eye area. Let's talk about the eye area here. So the eye area is thinner, it's more delicate, and it has very unique needs because it is an area of movement. So Like our neck. Our neck has unique needs. Our eye does too. It's thin, it's delicate, and it has a lot of movement. So it gets products that are dedicated to this area. I want to tackle some questions because we do get a lot of questions on, can I put my serums in my eye area? I want you to think about the eye area and the different concerns we have. I'm going to get close, right? So this area, we can have dark circles and it can get very dry. It can get very dry and we can have texture through here. Now this area is where we get a lot of that movement and we can have those fine lines, those deeper wrinkles. We can get puffiness and bags through here. And then we can get heaviness along this area. So even in the zones of the eye area, it has very different and unique needs. Now, anytime you are using very, very active products, my rule is please avoid the eye area with very active products like vitamin C and retinol. And we don't want to ever be getting our eye products in our eye area. Products like our Hydrate and Smooth Serum can do well pressed into this area out here. I absolutely will press hyaluronic acid in this area and maybe give a little dab right through here. But again, I use it on my finger and I don't do too much. And then the same thing with the niacinamide booster. That can be very supportive of our barrier in that thin skin, but I apply it like an eye product and you can do that in your serum steps. Now, our amazing Youth Glow Eye Gel, we want to make sure that we're not blocking, again, the absorption. So that's why eye care comes before moisturizer. Now, when I was getting my esthetician's license a decade ago, when we would learn to do facials, we used to finish with eye care. We would do all of the steps in a facial, and then the last thing we would do is eye care. But again, skincare has evolved even so much in the last 10 years, and there are many more eye serums now and eye products. And when we would do facials, we would make sure the entire eye area was completely covered usually. We would put these little cotton rounds on people's eyes like this, and nothing would go under them. So anything we're doing in a facial would be outside of this area. Then we would remove, and then we would apply the eye products, making sure nothing would get in the way. But at home, we can put some serums through here if they're appropriate for that area. And we want to make sure that our moisturizer and those finishing steps, those more oil-rich steps, don't block the absorption of our targeted eye care. So that's why I think it's really important to do our eye care before we moisturize. No, I don't, well, I'm sorry, I missed something. Hold on. I don't pat retinol on the eyes. I do not. I want to make sure that I'm clear with that. I do not put retinol around the eyes. Retinol for me in this area is a no-no. So with retinol, that area that I just held up here, get your cotton rounds, put them on your eyes, and we do not want to be putting retinol in this area. So I'm sorry if I was unclear. I want to make sure we are not putting retinol on that eye area. We want to make sure that because it's very, could be very sensitizing to the eye area. But I absolutely use my eye serum. I will use my Hydrate and Smooth Serum and my niacinamide. Okay. Yes, the eye gel is incredible. Well, Sydney, it's totally different, but that's what, when I was in aesthetic school, we would do the whole thing. And then you finish with the eye area. We would do this little massage and we'd tap it all in and it'd be very soothing. And then the facial would be finished. I actually am so warm right now. I want to pat some eye gel on right now because it's so cool and soothing. I love it on the eye area. And it is a gel. You just need a tiny, tiny bit. When you have really hydrating products, especially on the eye area, you want to make sure you're not using too much. Remember, the skin is thinner. What do we mean when the skin being thinner? What does that mean? So our skin in different places has a different thickness, a different depth, and each layer of our skin, that top layer, the epidermis, the dermis, the subcutaneous fat, and the connections between have a different density and a different thickness. The eye area, it's about a third of the depth than like the rest of our face, essentially. So it is not just a little bit thinner, it is significantly thinner. So we actually do need less product in that area too, not just targeted care. So when it comes to something like the eye gel, I will use a little more at night, but half a pea, I take like half a pea size, split it between my fingers, and then tap it on. So it's a half a pea, and then you split the half a pea for each area, and then you press it on here. And this is what I consider this eye area through here. And this is the area where I really avoid, like we were saying, that retinol around the eyes. This feels so good. I think it's so cooling. I'm getting warm in here. It's warm. How long should the eye gel last if using once daily? I feel like my eye gel, I just ran out of one, and this is a new one, and I feel like it lasted me so long. These products last so long, but it's always going to be individual how long a product takes you to use. And if you have a traditional eye cream, that would go on top of something like your eye gel. I consider the eye gel more of an eye serum. It's very humectant rich. It's very hydrating. You could even put a little, make sure the under eye area is a little damp if you wanted to before applying the eye gel. I think that's super appropriate to let it absorb and get those humectants to work. Yes, and lip area too. So I love this, and I love that I see you all putting that in there. I will do my eye area. I'll do the perimeter of my lips as well. And I've even seen people talking about the nose, which is totally appropriate too. You could even get it into this area here and those nasal labial folds. And so that you would just top any lighter, more serum-like eye products, like the Youth Glow Eye Gel, with a more traditional eye cream if you wanted to, or a little moisturizer. I use the eye gel day and night. I use the eye gel day and night for sure. And Laura says it lasts longer than her other serums. I felt like the eye gel lasted me so long. Like, I was actually shocked when it ran out, because I actually realized how, and I'm not kidding, it ran out yesterday, my other one, which is why I always have a backup. That's my rule. Always have a backup, because mine ran out and I had this moment where I realized I could not believe how long my eye gel had lasted because it finally ran out. It was pretty funny. The eye gel is actually very balanced for tired eyes, puffiness. It has those peptides. It has vitamin E. It's really a great formulation to be very hydrating, very soothing. Vitamin E is amazing around the eye area, and I love that it has the peptides. That's what that Matrixyl 3000 is. That's a peptide on there. And it also has those plant stem cells and that vitamin E in this amazing formulation. I know. And this is so affordable. I'm so obsessed with it. I mean, go find an eye gel for this price that is better, I dare you, because this is so amazing. It's got the green tea that has caffeine in it. It's got all of those amazing boxes that you want to check when it comes to an eye serum. I love it so much. I love it so much. It's so great. And yes, I love all the questions. I love all the questions. And I do love that this is very versatile. Can be used around the lip area. I love that you all use it around the nose area. It's a really, really versatile, incredible product. All right. I know. I never want to run out of it. So let's talk phase 4, moisturizing. And I see this question, which product can be applied to the eyelids? Okay. Eyelids, you have to be really careful because everyone's eyelids are very different. It really depends on your level of sensitivity and the actual skin and the texture on your eyelids. I'm always very hesitant to make recommendations to put serums on your eyelids. However, I do believe that the eye gel is appropriate for the eyelid area. I did also get confirmation that this niacinamide is, but you need to use teeny tiny amounts, because anytime you're getting something on your eyelid, our eyelids are a little bit oilier. You do have the possibility of getting your product in your eyes. So you just have to promise me that anything you put on your eyelids, you're going to patch test, and you are going to use a little amount to make sure you don't get it in your eyes, because that's a rule. And really make sure, again, we are not using our retinol and our vitamin C on our eye area, and especially not your eyelids. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. Your SD bestie Stephanie will scold you if you do that. Yes, sparingly. I use the oils, and I'll get into that, but I use the oils through here. I generally don't put the oils on my eyelid because, again, our eyelids are oilier, and I'm sure I would absolutely get it in my eyeball. But I mean, the straight up oils, because I use the oils, I use this as a makeup remover, like we talked about. So I will get it all over my eye area. These are not going to be problematic used on the lid because you can use them to remove makeup. Again, it's just, you want to make sure you're not getting stuff in your eyes. That's just kind of the rule. Yes, Lindsay, good. That's good. All right, I have about 10 minutes or less. Oh, I have less than that. We got to talk about moisturizing and day versus night. Now, moisturizers, and we have all of our different awesome moisturizers. Your moisturization step, everyone needs a moisturizer. Moisturizing is an essential step. I love a good moisturizer. Everyone needs a good moisturizer. In the comments, let me know what your favorite moisturizer is. And do you use a different moisturizer day and night? Because you could use, depending on your moisturizer, the same moisturizer day and night. Or you could mix it up and have one for day and have one for night. And then in your night routine, you could alternate one night and like a retinol another night. That's kind of personal choice. And again, based on what else is in your routine. But what I want to really explain about moisturizers in the context of layering, because we're talking about layering here today, and things to take into consideration. Your moisturization step is going to be a mix. Moisturizers, I got it out. I did it. Moisturizers are a combination of those water ingredients, those water-loving ingredients, those oils and oil-loving ingredients, and other actives and soothing, awesome ingredients that are in there to make an incredible formulation. Now, what a moisturizer does, and everyone needs a moisturizer, it really locks in all of those other layers. But it doesn't just lock it in, it drives it in. So it locks in that moisture and really drives it into the skin. So again, we are getting the most out of our skincare, right? Once you moisturize, you're starting to just really lock everything in, reinforce our skin barrier, moisturize, like build that up, build up those lipids, deliver that last round of hydration that your skin may need, and drive everything in deeper. And it's very nourishing and it's a very important step. And like I said, no matter your skin type, from the driest skin to the oiliest skin, everyone needs a moisturizer that is appropriate for your skin type. And if you're like me and you grew up as a teen in the 90s, especially the early to mid 90s, and that oil-free, well, actually kind of, I felt like flowed into the 2000s too, but it was like everything was oil-free. They told us oil was bad. They told us moisturizing was bad. And we were using products that were very stripping and drying on our skin. And in my 10 years as an esthetician, I have seen so many people that thought they had combination or oily skin, but what they really had was unbalanced skin that was so stripped, because the first parts of the routine, the cleansing, the toning, the serums, were so stringent and harsh, and then they weren't moisturizing. So what that does is it tells our skin, oh wait, we just had all this oil removed. We need to produce more oil. And so because they weren't moisturizing appropriately, it actually kicked the skin into high gear, and it was basically telling the skin, you just need to go make more oil. And it throws it off. And yes, I love that, Yvonne, seasonally too, not just day and night, but seasonally we can mix it up. But everyone needs one, because when our skin is properly nourished and moisturized, that's how it can really, it's that final step in helping our skin find that balance. And sometimes when, especially with combination skin, if you feel like your skin is combination and some areas are doing one thing and other areas are doing another thing, you could have classic combination skin, but it could just be a sign of imbalance from some of those other factors. And that's what's really important to take into consideration. So for our day routine, we want to lean into antioxidant rich products. This vitamin C moisturizer is ideal because it's very moisturizing, but it's not heavy. It has some of my favorite ingredients like sunflower and shea and that vitamin C that's very stable. And that last kick of antioxidants to really lock in those components that were antioxidant rich in your day routine. I'm obsessed with it. Honestly, I had a moisturizer that I used before I switched to this, that I thought no moisturizer for day could top that moisturizer. And then I started using the vitamin C moisturizer and I was shook. I couldn't believe that there was a moisturizer that I liked more than this other one that I had used, that I told everyone to go use. And then I used this and I honestly couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe there was a moisturizer that was even better. And I absolutely love this for day, and it's very soothing on my skin. It's non-irritating. It never feels heavy, and I feel like I can layer it really well. I can put a little bit on, then if my skin feels like it needs a little more and more drier seasons, I feel like I can put it on. I feel like it plays well with everything else I use. I think it's just iconic. It's amazing. And it's actually one of our best sellers too, for good reason. It's really such a great moisture. Yes, Trace, it's so good. It's so good. Yes, Debbie, and Imbalance, she said, Imbalance made you cake on makeup. Yes, Imbalance does a lot of things to our skin. When you all ask questions and leave comments, it gives me ideas for more lives too. Then that comment just gave me an idea for another live I want to do also. All right. Now, where are we? So nighttime. Let's talk about nighttime. Nighttime, we can really layer on the moisturizer. I mean, and I talk about those oils that you know that I like to just glaze myself up like a donut and parade around my house and show everyone how lovely and glowy I am before I go to bed. But moisturizer at night, I really load it on. I like having my skin be really moisturized. I want to lock it in, especially because I live in a place that is very dry, and it helps prevent our skin from becoming dehydrated. So depending on what is in your other serum steps, that's how you choose what's most appropriate for your night routine, because some people love layering on a retinol moisturizer with their retinol serums. For some people, that may be too much. And then some people, there are some nights when I have a very simple routine, I will cleanse and tone my skin. I will use my niacinamide serum and my retinol moisturizer, and that is all I will do. And it is a very simple, straightforward, very effective way to do things as well. So it just depends on what you do in your night routine. So let me know what your favorite is for your night routine in the comments, because yes, it does. We do have different needs, and some, I'll do a different night routine in the summer than I do in the winter. I do a different night routine night to night. It's very variable, and I cycle what I do in my routine. And it also depends on if I exfoliate it. When I exfoliate my skin, when I'm using things like alpha hydroxy acids, I really want to make sure that I'm moisturizing well, and everything else in my skincare routine is very soothing. So that makes a difference as well. So okay, esthetician tip time. I said I would cover this, but our skincare does not stop at our jawline. So the moisturization step continues on our neck and in our hands and on our décolleté. It's very, very important. So if you've not tried this Tighten and Lift Neck Cream, you can either really use targeted care, because again, this is another area that is thin, that is an area of movement, that's very exposed and has unique needs. And using a targeted neck moisturizer that is also a treatment is very, very powerful. I put my serums, when I do my serum steps, neck, décolleté, hands, and then I will use my face moisturizer on my face, and then I will use my Tighten and Lift Neck Cream on my neck, my décolleté, and I actually love this on my hands as well. Then I give it a few minutes to absorb, and then I apply oil. And I consider oil in phase 5, which is protection. The last step that we do, we want to protect our skin. We want to make sure that we do that final layer to lock everything in. So I give my moisturizer a few minutes to absorb, see if I need a little more. Then during the day, because I get this question a lot, Stephanie, where does oil fit in with SPF? So oils come after our moisturizer. We can press in a few drops, let it absorb, and during the day, this is my favorite for day, is this rosehip oil. It's packed with vitamins A, C, and E. It is really great for all skin types. It's very light on the skin, but what I like to do is I will take a little bit of this, press it around my face, neck, décolleté, hands, and then I take a little bit and I will press a bit of this rosehip oil during the day around my eye area, lips for sure, always the lips, and on the end of my nose, because it's so dry here, the end of my nose gets dry really easily, and then maybe my cuticles. And then I let it absorb, and then I apply my SPF. So that's important, is that I really do like doing oils after moisturizer and before SPF during the day. Yes, also on cuticles. Now, at night, the protection phase oils kind of stand alone because we don't use our SPF during the day, at night, obviously, it's just for the day. I use my argan or my rosehip and argan because this is a little bit richer but it's not heavy. It still is non-comedogenic, meaning it won't clog pores. And this is packed with a wonderful balance of omegas and vitamin E. Now, vitamin E is very abundant in our skin. It's an oil-loving vitamin. So that's important. It's an oil-loving vitamin, and vitamin E is so great for just calming the skin and helping reduce the appearance of redness, helping our barrier, but it's great around the eye area. If you have dark circles, vitamin E and vitamin K are your best friends, and this is amazing with vitamin E. And again, on top, I just slather myself. I put it in my hair like this at bedtime, at the end of my routine, head to toe. Love it. Yes, and it can be beneficial for improving the appearance of scarring as well. When you're talking about vitamin E, and argan is amazing. Yes, and I put oils on my lips. And what I think is funny is I've always put oils and now on my lips, and now there are brands like cosmetic brands, makeup brands coming out with lip oils that have color in them and fun stuff like that. But I will just put my oils on my lips. I love them on my lips. I let them absorb. It's really amazing to lock everything in, to help protect the lips, to really do a lot to soften the look of lines around the lips as well. I love it. I love it so much. Yes, and it is a split end mender. And you know what it is also really good for, Trish? It's really great for up here. I get the little flyaways and stuff. So at the end of my routine, I like to take any leftover oil that I have on my hands and I hit the top of my hair, and then I'll come through like this and I pull it through the ends of my hair, and it's very smoothing, and it just finishes off everything really, really nicely. You know, Brenda, it depends. Old scars are kind of tricky, but I always say that it never hurts to try. So when it comes to scarring, it's very subjective. It never hurts to try, especially with something like argan, like vitamin E. And depending on where it is, I see that you, it was above your eye. The balance of using, as long as it's up here, not like on your eye area, retinol can actually be a really, really great underneath that potentially as well. So we have come to the end of this amazing live. I hope you had a great time. I think we're going to choose a grand prize winner as well. But I want to say, to finish this out, again, skincare and skincare layering is subjective. And again, if you have more sensitive skin, you might switch stuff up. If you have a more simple routine or a more complex, comprehensive routine, you might make some different changes. You might change it day to day or night to night. It always comes down to what works for you and what works for your skin and your skin type. You know, our environment and where we live, we take that into consideration, but skincare should be fun, and it's fun to try things. And this is just where I like starting from. This is the way I like teaching those things. We have those rules. Like, we want to make sure that our water loving skincare is under our oil loving skincare so it can absorb those types of things. But play around and see what works for you, because sometimes there's not a wrong answer. There's a good, better, best approach. And we just want to maximize absorption, maximize those results, and take those things into consideration. And yes, are you in our VIP group? We would love to have you in our VIP group, because if you enjoyed this live today, if you enjoyed being in the chat and being a part of this conversation, we get to have conversations like this all of the time in our amazing goPure VIP community. And it's just the best place. People share their experiences, they ask questions, you have that direct connection with our customer service support that's incredible, and me as well, and other team members with goPure. So make sure you're in there as well. Make sure you are signed up for our SMS alerts. Make sure you're on our email list so you don't miss a thing. And this is kind of your, what in this format, if there's anything and any products that you wanted to grab, you can actually scroll through, read descriptions of those, and you can add stuff to your cart and you can shop right from here, which is awesome. So, oh, and Lori says she's 1 year in next month. So if anybody wants to be on our email list, raise your hand. And I think that the blog address on our main goPure site, so gopurebeauty.com, you can read our blog, you can connect with us, you can actually sign up to be on our email list right on our goPure website. So gopurebeauty.com. You can sign up, take our skin quiz, all of those fun things. Make sure you're on those lists and you are connected with us. And make sure you're in that VIP community so you don't miss a thing. You have access to early product releases, sales, and exclusive educational content, which I think is great because then I get to hang out with all of you. And I love that so, so much. And I'm just so glad that you all were here today and you were a part of this experience, and just helping us serve each and every one of you better. That's really so important to us, to serve all of you and help you just have the, skin that you feel so incredibly confident in at any and every age. That's what we want. And so when you are here and when you connect with us and when you show up to these, it just makes me so happy because I love being able to have a part in that, and helping you all feel so confident. Oh, we had a winner. Oh man, I always miss it. Keep missing the winners. And congratulations to all of the winners, because it's just fun to win things, but I love being able to teach all of you. So here's what we're going to do to close this out. There's a little bit of delay on my end. So on my end, when I end it, I don't want it to end too soon. So you can say bye to me. I want everyone to say bye. And thank you so much for being here. I'm going to just do a little facial rolling and sit here for a little bit. I'm a little flushed. I always get a little warm when I do this. I'm going to do a little facial rolling and hang out. And Debbie, I had fun with you too, and I'm so glad that you were here, and thank you for hanging out with me and for chatting. I loved that. And I'm going to just roll for 20 seconds, and then I'm going to end the live. I just don't want it to cut everyone off, but thank you so much for being here. This was amazing. Make sure you're in all of our amazing goPure spaces. And this is kind of that final layering step. I like layering at the end of my routine. I mean, rolling at the end of my routine. I like rolling after oil. So this is how I'm closing out the layering live with doing my final step of my skincare rolling. So you all have a lovely day. Bye.